What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today, oh boy, the Men in Black relaunch, rewrites, infighting, and no urgency behind Sony's lackluster Men in Black. Oh, wow. It's almost like this movie was garbage. Now, I haven't seen it. I was gonna go see it, and then Tessa Thompson ran her mouth. Now, let me go ahead and clarify this. So, this movie, this is the problems. Rewrites, infighting, no urgency. But Tessa Thompson, what's she worried about? Oh, she's worried about an SJW title. She's worried about getting woke. Before the movie even comes out, you have a pre-existing franchise, pre-existing fan base, and you're worried about changing it to a more inclusive name? This is what SJWs do. They're absolutely crazy. Absolute lunatics. So her proposal was to change it to people in black or humans in black. Yeah, because it needs to be more inclusive. That's what Tessa Thompson was worried about with this movie. Amazing. Amazing. So now we have director F. Gary Gray, which I really like Gary Gray. I've liked a lot of his movies. I don't know what he's done recently, but he did a lot of movies back in the day, like The Italian Job and some other movies that I really enjoyed. So I think he's a really good filmmaker. So this sounds to me more like a problem from a studio standpoint, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, so who knows? Director F. Gary Gray nearly exited as producer Walter Parks attempted to remake the script on the fly while the studio tried to limit its own financial exposure. The movie needed a greater reason to be, says a Sony executive. Now, there was all of these discussions back in 2016 about maybe a crossover between Men in Black and 21 Jump Street, yada, yada, yada. That never really happened, so they decided to go with the Men in Black reboot. And it just, man, so Sony would attempt to relaunch the franchise without Will Smith was a roll of the dice. The studio was already trying to cut a deal with the megastar for Bad Boys 3 and internally getting the actor along with the original trilogy co-star, the original trilogy, that sounded weird, the original co-star, Tommy Lee Jones for the fourth Men in Black film, was seen as both expensive and not forward-looking proposition. So it wasn't a forward-looking proposition to get the stars that made the franchise what it is. You wanted to hire, which I like Chris Hemsworth. I actually like Tessa Thompson. I think Tessa Thompson's a really good actress, and I've enjoyed her in a lot of different movies and roles. But when she starts bringing her nonsense into it before the movie even releases, talking about changing the name of a pre-existing franchise that someone else built and another fan base, a whole entire fan base helped build, and you want to change the name for your SJW propaganda garbage reasons, that makes me lose a lot of respect for her. Again, I still like her as an actress. But again, so you bring Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson in. And again, this movie didn't fail because Tessa Thompson's a crazy SJW. The movie failed because there's plenty of reasons why it failed. But if you say that bringing back Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones is not forward thinking, what? How is what you did forward thinking when you've lost a ton of money? Explain that to me. I love that they think that the people that didn't help build it, they think they're worthless. It's the same mentality as Star Wars right now. Like, they don't mind taking the thing you built, but they want to move on from the people that built it. And then they're confused when it loses money because the same interest isn't there. You needed to have Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, maybe in just the beginning, maybe the first, 30 minutes, help develop it, help bring in the new cast. I'm going to say it again, Cobra Kai, okay? Cobra freaking Kai did it perfectly. And now we're invested in the new characters because they honored what came before it first before they were willing to throw the new characters at us. Oh my God. But anyway, I got that. All right, so that choice to relaunch the franchise with new stars would lead to a battle between director and producer and ultimately a crash landing at the box office. Men in Black International, a hoped-for relaunch of a franchise whose three previous films released in 97, 2002, and 2012 grossed $1.6 billion, open to only $30 million stateside. It was, if not a franchise killer, a franchise freezer. The Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones Men in Black films all bode in the low to mid $50 million range. In their months prior to release, Sony and industry experts had given up on international opening near those numbers, with some anticipating a low $30 million debut. And the high ends was at $38 million. So they pretty much knew this was going to happen. And yes, of course, they hoped with the whole, Thor Ragnarok angle with Valkyrie and Thor, but ultimately it just didn't work out too good for him, did it? Now we've got all these other reports about the script being rewritten on the fly. One source says new pages arrive daily for actors, causing a certain amount of confusion, as well as stripping away what some considered the more modern sensibilities. Thompson and Hemsworth then hired their own dialogue writers. What a disaster. Two sources say that Parks at the time also stepped in on helming duties, although no Directors Guild of America rules were said to have been violated. Gary tried to exit the production several times, but was convinced to stay by the studio. Wow. Even color correcting was a source of contention between the director and producer. Walter is both the arsonist and the fireman, contends an insider. Remarkably, the post-production process was relatively smooth. What a disaster. So you've just got a ton of infighting. You've got a ton of creative, you got this creative vision, that creative vision. They're clashing, all of this nonsense. And again, at its core, what this comes down to is you decided to move away from the men that built this franchise. And you wanted to act like you could do it without them. The franchise was successful because of Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. Now, if you would have simply brought those guys in, and if you would have developed just like Cobra Kai, and then introduced us to the new characters to carry on, you might not be at a situation where you have what did they call it? A franchise freezer. So now your franchise that has grossed $1.6 billion with 3 films is now frozen because nobody cares about the new characters. And your star is so caught up in her SJW nonsense that she wants to worry about changing the goddamn name. The movie flops. And this crazy person with her crazy SJW lunatic ways is more worried about an inclusive name than making a good movie that makes a profit, that gives you the opportunity to make more movies. What a disaster this is. What a complete and total nightmare. This is crazy. What a disaster, man. I mean, there's just absolutely nothing good. These are good, talented people. Like F. Gary Gray. I really like F. Gary Gray. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to F. Gary Gray's IMDb right now, and we're gonna see what all he's done. If I could type. All right, so F. Gary Gray. I want to go to his his director. All right, so he has done. Let's see. So he's been involved with the Fast and Furious, The Italian Job, such a great film. Law Abiding Citizen. I actually like that movie. Straight Outta Compton was great, no doubt about that. He did a lot of music videos back in the day, too. He did TLC Waterfalls. If you don't like TLC Waterfalls, something's wrong with you. He did Murder Was the Case. That's what's up. Did a Queen Latifah, Cypress Hill. He did Ice Cube, It Was a Good Day. Come on, man. F. Gary Gray knows what's up. He did Miss Jackson by Outkast. So, I mean, The Negotiator, is that the one with Sam Jackson? Hell yeah, that's a great movie. So F. Gary Gray, he's been doing this a while, man. He's been doing this a while. And so I'm definitely not going to put this on him at all. A Man Apart, that's Vin Diesel's best role. He's in, he was involved with some R. Kelly videos. I'm not even going to go there. Babyface. Whitney Houston, Set It Off. That was a good one. He did Friday. He did the first Friday? Hell yeah, man. So again, man, F. Gary Gray is a really, really talented filmmaker. So these problems, I'm going to put it on the studio. But either way, it's a disaster. And this person right here wants to worry about goddamn title changes to be more inclusive. Never mind your movie has completely flopped and it's frozen the franchise. You want to come up with SJW stupid inclusive names. Unreal. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about it, guys. That's it. I haven't seen this movie. I'm not going to see this movie. I have no interest to see this movie. But if you want to, that's awesome. That's all on you. But I'm not going to do it. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Well, since we're talking about Tessa Thompson, who seems to be poisoned by Brie Larson, I'm going to do the Brie Larson outro. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Check out geeksandgamers.com. Check out geeksandgamers.com/store. Get you some Geeks and Gamers merch. And we will talk to you later.